the cloud. Welcome to another episode of the Ballinesian podcast, sponsored by Levasa Island Apparel. Someone's talking about sports, NFL time. We are getting into it, but definitely check out Levasa on Instagram at le_Vasa. Got that one of one tie-dye posted collection
Yeah,
that Eero
fire
put
too.
together. A couple different sizes, so definitely check them out on Instagram or the website www.livasaislandapparel.com. But on for the culture, catch the wave. I'm Lance. This is Forrest, Coach. The Raiders. Breaking news. We got some guys that are not going to be playing versus the Browns at Allegiant Stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, so just dropped. There's a couple sites. I don't know if it's official yet, but they're starting saying that Devontae Adams is out this Sunday with a hamstring injury. Max Crosby's out with the ankle injury, and Michael Mayer is out as well. Personally, no.
Yeah.
So they got some holes to fill this Sunday. I think the biggest of those. I know a lot of people are going to be like Devontae Adams, but Jacoby Myers is not Devontae Adams, but he's still a really good receiver. So they're pretty good there. They got Tucker, who's been showing up lately. They're not too bad on the wide receiver front. So not too
Bowers.
worried about there. Yeah, Bowers is going to get a lot of that work. So fantasy wise, if you guys do have Bowers, you should start him Sunday because he's going
Yeah.
to get work with Devontae being out and Michael Mayer out. He's probably going to be the favorite target for Minshew. So fantasy outlets, if you have them. But they're gonna miss Max Crosby the most because they're already thin at D line. They have Charles Snowden. They picked up Calavian Chason or
Mhm.
Calevin Chason, who was a first round pick out of LSU for the Jaguars a couple years ago. Last team he was with was the Panthers over preseason, I think, over the they released him. Raiders signed him. He's got potential. He's a linebacker, probably on the depth chart, but he's got the size to play defensive end. I'm pretty sure that's what they brought him in for defensive end, rush end at least. They do have what's his name back? Young back. Wilson, sorry. They have Wilson back, but they like to play him a lot on the inside. I think he's gonna get work on the outside this week, so we'll see. They
First
might
round
pull
pick, yeah.
somebody. First round pick, number 4. Is it 4? No, that was I think 6 or 7. But so far, he's been average, but they brought him in to be elite because he had the measurables in college. Like
Mhm.
the guy is gigantic. He's like 6'6", 270, but long arms. So
Good rushing
yeah,
attributes.
they were hoping that it'd be or it'd be disruptive on the line for them, but it hasn't worked out that way. He's been solid. He's had his moments.
Christian Wilkins is good though, yeah.
He plays defensive tackle, so we're not too worried about defensive tackle wise. Um, he's there. They still have Butler, uh, Nesta, who they picked up from Arizona State a couple years ago. He's been on and off with the team, but he's on the active roster this year. So I think they're solid at defensive tackle right now. They didn't
I'm
look
saying,
solid last year or last week, as the Panthers were able to just kind of run the ball whenever they wanted. So
oh, I feel like that was buried in the whole Andy Dalton taking over for Bryce Young story. Is that Chuba Hubbard also did good?
he did a very, very well job, a good job for them. But yeah, nothing against Andy Dalton, because he played a great game. He came out and showed out, but also I think they kind of were able to prepare. Like I know Young's been the quarterback for this whole time, and I'm about to say this, and people are like, "Well, they've been preparing for Young this whole time." No, that's not necessarily true. Um, it's not Dave Canales' quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not the one that dropped it in. Uh, Offensive coordinators knew as well, so it's easier to mock up a game plan for Andy Dalton for the next game than it is to have like for Bryce Young for the whole year. People are probably no, well they have a whole year to prepare. That's not true. No, you could really just mock up a game plan for Andy Dalton just for that game. You know,
Mm.
And although the Raiders did beat a very good team in the Ravens, you can still they struggled that game too. They came back to win, and they came back in the fourth quarter. So there's still a lot of things on tape that you could dissect and work with Andy Dalton, because Andy Dalton is a serviceable quarterback in the NFL. He was a starter at one point. He's been a
Early pick,
backup.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been a backup for a lot of teams, but he's played a lot.
So he
Real good on
knows
Sunday that he
what
can
he's
actually
looking
play.
at. He
Yeah.
knows what the defense is doing, what's open, can get it out to him. Doesn't have to tiptoe, jump pass.
Nope. He also came in with the confidence. His confidence wasn't shot. You know what I mean? He had nothing to lose. Were they going to put him back to the bench?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so great game for him. Nothing to take away from him. But yeah, there's a lot more that went into that win than just Andy Dalton making a career comeback. So
Chuba Hubbard, 21 carries, 114 yards. It was only 5.4 yards a carry, which is kind of average. I guess they gave him a bunch of carries, but
that's average. But like, they haven't really been playing average, so that's pretty great for them. You know what I mean?
oh, for the Panthers, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for the Raiders defense, like, yeah, it's crazy that Chuba Hubbard went for 114, but
Right.
I mean, I feel like that's more a fluke than you have to worry about the run
Right.
as the Raiders defense, because
Well,
I mean,
we're
and
gonna see.
I mentioned Christian Wilkins earlier, because even though you do not have Max Crosby and you're going to be starting other guys, the O line still has to worry about that middle. So hopefully
Oh,
it can
definitely,
free up
definitely.
the kind of replacement guys that are coming in
Yeah,
and help them out.
Christian Wilkins is definitely uh, a star in the NFL. Not by many people's standards, because he doesn't have the highlights that people like to see from a star.
Yeah.
But from a work standpoint, yeah, he does all the work that you want. And that's why the Raiders paid so much money for him this off season. I mean, Janarius Robinson is already starting at the other end spot, so that's cool. He'll start there. He's been serviceable as well. He's not bad. I think on the other side though, Tyree Wilson will be starting for Max Crosby. So you'll get Tyree Wilson, John Jenkins, Christian Wilkins, and Janarius Robinson on the line, mixed in with Snowden and Mr. J. Silvera and Adam Butler as well. Not too bad. Not too bad.
There was an injury in the Raiders secondary. Was it safety Marcus? Is it Marcus Epps?
Safety Marcus Epps.
Marcus Epps. And we have, who do we have replacing him?
Some really great guy. Went to a shitty college, but
Wow.
in fact, they lost against a really sorry team on Saturday. So like that just makes everything.
Raiders safety.
Oh, you want to? Okay, you want to? Yeah. Pola-Mao will be starting this weekend.
Let's go.
Prayers to Marcus Epps and his family and his recovery. He tore his Achilles, so he'll be out the rest of the season. And so, going further now into the season, Pola-Mao will be the starter. He will have some help. I know they're not just gonna throw him in there right away and have him play like full time like that. I think it'll be like they brought up one of their rookie safeties from the practice squad. Uh, oh no, sorry, not even a rookie. They brought up Sam Webb, who's been in the league for a little bit, who's played a lot of corner, but will also probably be in there for their safety reasons with them. He'll play safety. Chris Smith, the second out of Georgia, they drafted him last year too in the later round, so he'll get some play. He'll get some burn that too, but primarily Isaiah Pola-Mao will be the starter, which is cool because he's been garnering such big attention these past, like every offseason. All the Raider reports, the coaches are like, "Oh man, Isaiah Pola-Mao is a guy that could break out, get into the starting lineup somehow, or at least be part of the rotation." And now he gets his chance to start actually. And the great thing about Pola-Mao is he's so versatile. You can put him at linebacker because he's 6'4", about 225. That's pretty big for a safety. So he can come down and play the line at defense. He plays the slot. We've seen him play the slot every now and then for the Raiders as well. When Hobbs needs a break, so he can play there. But he'll definitely be needed this week at strong safety, and that's where he'll be starting. So excited to see that, man.
Are there any like comparable players, like as far as like what area he's going to be? Is he going to be a deep safety? You're saying more closer to the line, yeah?
I probably closer to the line. They'll probably have Trayvon Mayrick play
Free safety?
deep, free safety play deep. But if I could compare him to anybody, I mean, his uncle is Troy. No, I'm just kidding. I mean,
fly in there, young gun. You can see him blitzing off of the edge. You can see him
his
knocking
uncle
people over
is
the
Troy.
middle, getting an interception off of a wide receiver in the slot. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it'd be nice to have that, but of course, that's pretty that's a pretty high and lofty comparison for him.
But that's going to be his like area of responsibility, line of scrimmage,
short right, line of scrimmage, helping with the run. Yeah, that'll be.
And also asking to cover receivers sometimes.
Yeah, because like we just said, he plays in the slot, so he can pick up receivers one-on-one or in the zone. So we're gonna see all the talk that has come out of these past off seasons about him showing really great potential. He'll get to prove it on Sunday, so it'll be great to see.
Before we go, yes, I've been waiting. Like, you got to be someone really cool for me to be like, oh yeah, he's a Raider, but still rooting for him.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully he takes this opportunity and runs with it. Before we talk about the Chiefs and Chargers, Antonio Pierce after the game, a surprising loss to the Panthers at home. He was. I think somebody asked him, how do you feel about, the effort that the team gave, and they kind of fizzled out at the end. And he's like, yeah, it wasn't, the team. The team was motivated. It was certain individuals, certain players made business decisions. And we'll make business decisions too, moving forward. Did you see anybody for certain that he was like subbing there, or
I mean, look, if you watch the game, there's a lot of guys who can play things like. Obviously, the first guy everybody's going to point fingers at is Jack Jones. But again, Jack Jones is small. He can't make every tackle out there. So if you're going to take some of the plays that you saw, I think people were just looking for Jack Johnson to be that guy.
Jack expectations.
Jones, yeah, I think people are just looking because he's had problems in the past, like off-field problems. But that's Antonio's boy, and I think he's going to go hard for him. There are plays where you see, and he probably like gets out of the way a few times, but also they're already making the tackle. He could probably get in there and roll his ankle. People are saying, "Oh, he whiffed on a tackle." He's a cornerback. They're not always going to tackle. It's not as severe as what's his name last year? Marcus, what's his last name?
Peters.
Yeah, where he literally just stepped out of the way and avoided the tackle. Jack Jones is
Whoa.
Oh yeah, all the plays you see, Jack Jones is around the tackle, at least trying to help. So, but
he's like, y'all got it, y'all the tacklers. Right, I'm just making sure he doesn't
explode somewhere. But I understand, like, you can see that too. And then the second person who everybody, actually probably the first person people wanted to blame was Devontae Adams, just because of all the rumors that have circulated with him that have never came from him about wanting to be traded, just disgruntled on the team. And so he came out and he said, and just the way he answered the question, but he never took a play off. He played in there when they put in what's his name? Aiden O'Connell. He stayed in. There was never a time he blocks and he catches. So could have been him. A lot of people were speculating also whether it be Getsy, just because a lot of the plays he was calling, his system just seemed repetitive and looked like he was just trying to force like his system. But other than that, yeah, probably the O-line, because they didn't show up at all. So
going into week 4, how do you feel? How does this game play out? You're at home again? Is that 3 straight home games? Oh, no, you won in Baltimore.
Yeah, we played in Baltimore. We won in Baltimore. Yeah. Say it right, bro.
You played, and the game result was a win.
We won in Baltimore. We beat Baltimore in Baltimore.
That's right.
I think it'll still be a pretty good game. They're missing some guys too right now. They'll be without David and Njoku.
Jedrick Willis outside outside tackles.
Yep, outside tackles. They'll be without both of them. Myles Garrett is also questionable for the game. He'll probably show up. It doesn't seem too severe that he'd miss the game, but you never know this season. A lot of guys are taking the precautions of resting, even though we as fans don't think it's a big injury. Players are kind of taking better care of themselves, and teams are going along with it because it's a big investment. So so they're resting. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to be a good game. Both teams are missing some key starters, but
time to get into the
depth. I know. Yeah, I know we say it all the time, but next man up should always be the mentality. That's why you have these guys on the depth chart. So, yeah, I think the Raiders, they're gonna have to come out this weekend, playing really tough because they didn't show any kind of toughness last week.
Okay, tough. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's also like how Notre Dame lost against Northern Illinois. They kind of I think they came out expecting to win. And then a couple things didn't go their way, and now you're behind, and now you're like, what the fuck's going on? You know, takes you out of your plan.
Trap game. Yeah.
So, but again, I'm a Raiders fan, so I'm always going to rock with the Raiders. I do think they're going to come out on top. We've all seen the struggles of Watson this early season, so I'm pretty confident. Amari Cooper's first game versus the Raiders after being traded.
Damn. How long was he with the Raiders?
I think just through his rookie contract, and then
drafted by the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, he had, to be fair to the Raiders, also to him, he did great with the Raiders, but he also had some hands problems while he was there, dropping some passes. So,
shout out to Oakland.
Yes,
the Oakland Raiders, the Oakland Athletics, the Oakland, the Golden Bay. What the hell were they called? Golden State Warriors.
This is the Golden Bay.
The Golden Bay Curries. Baron Davis. That's like the oldest. That's the oldest Warriors time I can remember.
Really, Chris Mullin?
I remember Chris Mullin in a Warriors jersey highlights.
Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, I don't think I was even watching.
Right.
NBA fantasy coming up. Migs hit me up. Remind me to talk about that
for sure.
with you later.
For sure.
All right.
You guys got a lot of injuries too going into this Sunday, man. So
okay. So to wrap up the Raiders are a 1.5 point favorite. And the over-under is 36.5. So it's the projected score there. The implied score is 19-17 Raiders.
I feel like those numbers were before the injuries that the Raiders just announced.
Oh, possibly, because I just pulled these while you were talking about that. So it might even go further. But the Browns also, Jack Conklin's out, Jedrick Wills, that's both their starting tackles.
Tackles.
David Njoku, like you said. Myles Garrett is questionable. And then one of their running backs. So, Raiders at home. We got to put together a little parlay. Raiders, we'll bet the Raiders and the Chargers every week. Just like, when we both win, we both win.
I don't have enough money for that, man.
It'll be like, we'll just bet $20 every week and it'll grow into like $1 million. The Chargers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles for week 4. This game also on CBS, also at 1:25 Pacific. Chiefs are favored by 7. Over under is 39.5. Implied score is Chiefs 23, Chargers 16. And that, I think that betting line opened at like 8.5. Like it was even worse. It was even bigger blowout that they were projecting. But people bet so much on it being a double-digit win for the Chiefs that they had to like back the line to down.
But that's because they're going to be without Derwin James,
suspended,
possibly be without Justin Herbert.
Yeah, not practicing Thursday.
They'll be without their stud rookie tackle Joe
Alt, MCL suffered in
MCL.
week 3.
Who else said there's a couple other guys that may not be like stars, but
what a terrible game in Pittsburgh. Everyone got hurt, and it's just like in a losing effort too. Y'all all got hurt for nothing. You got hurt, and we lost 20-10. Someone wants to cover Calvin Austin. That was Elijah Molden's fault. I mean, maybe not his fault, but definitely he was the one that ended up chasing him. But up until then, Elijah Molden's been doing great, and he's going to do great. Elijah, if you're listening to this, you got this. So that was a tough game in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's now 3-0. They're going to play the Colts this week. We'll talk about the undefeated teams after this. But, the Chargers, Herbert left the game, high ankle sprain, re-aggravated injury. Left tackle Rashawn Slater left the game. Right tackle Joe Alt, we found out, has a sprained knee. Derwin James laid a hit on somebody that led to his suspension in week 4.
Be right. That's like the 4th time he's done it without any repercussions.
Yeah, no, he definitely.
I'm just kidding.
No, he does. That's why there's like 4 times.
Like, you're gonna penalize somebody for playing football in football?
No, you have to change the way you play football. You're leading with the head and hitting other people's head is no longer acceptable. You can't say that word anymore, Grandpa. You gotta stop. And it just he keeps smashing people in the head. But I don't think you get the same like ferociousness, tenacity, like skills, plays if he's not that guy. If he's playing more kind of backup safety.
Yeah.
So.
If he has to like refrain himself from doing something, anyway, yes. We do have to learn how to tackle different.
Yeah. You just gotta go with the rules. And they decided to, that's enough. They're playing the Chiefs. Travis Kelce has been garbage so far for fantasy owners. If you own Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, you're probably freaking out a whole lot. The good part is it can't get any worse than 2 points a game, 0 points a game, 0 catches a game, 0 targets a game. One of those
guys is going to get injured this weekend.
Yeah.
He's can't get any worse.
Yo, you know what? We don't like injuries, but if an injury happened to either one of those guys and you own them as a tight end in fantasy football, it might be cool because then you could actually cut bait and move on and get another tight end on the waiver wire, get another tight end in a trade because nobody wants to trade for Mark Andrews right now. Nobody wants to trade for Travis Kelce right now. You can't trade them away, but you also can't drop them because you picked them up in like the 2nd, 3rd round.
Right. That would be.
Thought you were getting a deal in the 4th. So it's like, there's nothing you can really do. And I mean, except wait for the breakout.
I super lucked out off subject, but I was able to get Kittles and Bowers in one of my leagues. So
Bowers? Cool. Wait, how's Kittle? I think didn't Kittle miss a game recently?
He did miss a game, but he's actually doing pretty good this season. He's averaging about, I think, 12 a game. So not bad.
That's great in freaking tight end at the tight end position. But lots of injuries going on. Chiefs still favored. They're going to have a starting quarterback. Justin Herbert might not play. I hope he doesn't play. I actually hope he does not play.
They have extra guys on the field with them.
The what?
The Chiefs are favored because they have extra players on the field with them.
Oh, the black referees. And white.
Bro, that last game, that pass interference was so blatant.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But they are favored. I'm right here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge
yeah.
I don't think there's
just walked in. If you have a home team though, you're always gonna be favored. He's got some pretty good guys now, like receiver. Thank you. It's not like the cupboard's bare. Kelce is his best receiver, but yeah, he's got some young guys in his receiving core. None of them being Hollywood Brown, thank God. But he does have some young guys on his team that he can throw to now. They might, if they're without Pacheco, that could be pretty rough because he runs hard for them. But Carson Steele, if you watch last week's game, kind of mirrors the way Pacheco runs. He runs really hard. not afraid of contact. He runs through contact. So if you guys are able to pick up Parsons Steele in fantasy, yeah, you might want to start him because I think he's starting again. I don't think Pacheco's back.
I think Pacheco has a fibula injury. He might be out for the year. He definitely might be out for, until the fantasy playoffs. Maybe he comes back late in the year for the Chiefs. But yeah, Carson Steele was running into the line. Didn't look super great, but I feel like they're gonna figure out ways to get him running, get him involved. Because he's the starting running back.
That if things like that, you figure that he doesn't have a hold of the offense if he's running into the backs of his linemen. Coupled with the lineman probably not pushing, but usually if a running back is running into the back of his lineman, he doesn't have a hold of a good grip of the playbook yet because he doesn't know what gap he's running into. He's not reading them right. So hopefully that's not the case.
You see, his sister was getting married Sunday night.
Oh wow!
And they watched the wedding reception, like all the family.
Oh, that's right. I saw
was watching the
because that was his first start in the NFL.
Why did they schedule the wedding for a Sunday when their brother is a NFL player?
I'm pretty sure they scheduled ahead of time before he was drafted. Before they knew the schedules were out. So, I mean, unless you're like us, then football's not the biggest thing in the world.
I mean, okay, yeah, maybe, but I think it was a sign. They were like, well, he's going to be free on Sundays. What is the problem? Come here. We'll schedule it on a Sunday. He couldn't go, though. Anyways, yeah, I think Carson Steele is going to be good. I also feel like Samaje Perine is going to get a lot more opportunities than he did last week. So
it's funny
we'll see which way that goes.
Early in his career, even coming out of Oklahoma, he was like a power back. He ran between the tackles, he was a big dude. And now he's in the NFL, they kind of turned him into like a receiving back, which is weird.
Like a third down back.
Yeah, the third down back. But he's pretty good. He's a guy that you can stick in there and give him some downs to play. He'll get some downs. But I think going further, I think they do like Carson Steele a lot.
If you could get either of those guys in fantasy, you would go Steele?
I would go Steele.
Okay.
He got the majority of the carries last week as well. So
yeah, I'm just not excited about the way those carries look. But again, I feel like it's going to get better because, rookie, he's learning. Sure. Each game for him is a huge chapter in his experience.
77 yards and a touchdown sounds like you said, if you're not watching the whole game, that sounds like really good production, which it is on paper. But again, for a guy who's going to get the opportunity to take over Pacheco and the kind of plays that they call for Pacheco kind of has the same running style, you want to see him do more, but not bad for a first start rookie, 77 yards and a touchdown.
Nice. The Chargers just need to get out of this game. Sit Herbert, let Heineke roll.
At least no more injuries.
Yeah, no more injuries. Like, play it tough, try to, compete, use the Greg Roman run game to, take the pressure off the passing game and Tyler Heineke. And really see what you got at different positions. You might have both starting offensive tackles out for the Chargers. So see what you got. You're going to have to move Foster Sarrell in. You're going to have to move Trey Pickens, the third, back out to right tackle. See what you got on the interior. See Kamani Vidal maybe get some mix in.
Yep.
I think he hasn't been playing because they've been keeping a different running back on, kind of like as an emergency running back behind Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, but he also plays special teams. Haskins. But
I think it's a good chance also for them to kind of work Quentin Johnson,
sure.
A lot of work. So.
I mean, I just feel like there's not as many opportunities available. There's only going to be 15 passes thrown for the Chargers because they're going to try to run the clock, force the run.
The quarterback situation in the NFL, I think Tyler Heineke is going to come in, have a game of his life. He's going to be entrenched as a starter for the rest of the season. They're going to trade Herbert. The Raiders are looking for a quarterback, so we could possibly trade for Herbert. You know what I mean?
To the Raiders?
Yeah, he's a California kid. So
Tom Telesco's let's bring that guy over here.
Yeah, I know he'd want to stay in LA, in California, but I think he'd like Vegas. I think, so yeah. Hey, good luck going further with Tyler Heineke. He's been a pretty good quarterback.
Heineke, the franchise.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert has a high ankle sprain. He tried to play through in week 3 in a tough game in Pittsburgh, hurt it really bad. So now he can take a rest versus the Chiefs. Tyler Heineke, you go in there. Why even put Justin Herbert at risk of getting more hurt with Foster Sarrell and Trey Pipkins at your tackles?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, not being able.
If I was Herbert, I'd be asking to sit out. I'd be like, "Hey, man."
But that's the thing. Herbert is in the news, like, we're trending the right direction. I'm doing everything I can to play on, and I'm like, bro, that's cool that you say that. Get that out in the public, but behind the scenes, it shouldn't even be a question, I don't think. Herbert, you got the bye in week 5. That's 2 more weeks to heal up from an ankle injury he already suffered. That's better than breaking his leg versus the Chiefs now and being out, and us being stuck with Tyler Heineke for the rest of the freaking season. I don't want that.
But he's already one of those guys that love to compete, love to play. So it's gonna be hard to keep him off the field if he's healthy enough to play. But at the same time,
compete and play many years,
right? But with the Raiders, but I think with the running game there, I think maybe he could be a little worried in the back of his head. Like, damn, if I sit out, will I lose the team? Not the starting position, of course. Everybody who was listening, that was a joke. Tyler Heineke would never start over a healthy Justin Herbert. But I think he'd probably lose the team to the running game even more if he sits out. So, there's a lot that happened for him over the offseason. I know as fans, it's divided. Everybody, the casual fans are going to be like, whoa, he should play if he's healthy. And then actual fans are going to be like, no, please sit him so we can have him for a good run at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
we have him for at least 4 more years, guys. What's the point if he only has one leg? Only one good ankle.
Right.
So with Justin Herbert out, Heineke versus Mahomes isn't as cool. The big thing with the Chief offense, like you said, Carson Steele, Samaje Perine, those young receivers. Big question mark that we talked about, Travis Kelce. He's going to try to get it going. Derwin James isn't going to be out there, so it's going to be on Elijah Molden. It's going to be on Alohi Gilman. Some of the corners to
is Gilman back? I know they started. Who did they start at the beginning of the season? Gilman was out for a little bit. I know he was banged up coming into the regular season. So if he's back out there, that's a big plus for the defense for the Chargers. So.
Yeah, he was playing last week, but
okay, good.
It was also just mixing in. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to I just want the Chargers to get out of this game without any further injuries. That's my goal. That's a win for me. Also, Amen. Herbert not playing and getting back-to-back weeks.
Same with the Raiders. If Devontae's not out there and Max isn't out there, let's just hope those injuries aren't great. Not being great. Those injuries aren't severe, and that whoever steps into for them has a good game, enough to a win, but enough also to not get anybody else hurt. So
nice. There are 5 undefeated teams left in the NFL. All of them play on the road in week 4. 3 of them are underdogs. I want to go through these real quick and just see who you think can stay undefeated. One more week. We know the Chiefs are at the Chargers. That one should be an easy one, relatively for the Chiefs.
I don't know about easy, but I do think the Chiefs are going to win with the injuries. But I think it'll be a struggle. I'm one of those guys that see guys come in that are like filling in. I think those guys more than likely are going to play harder. I know Skill has to. Yeah, I know Skill has to measure up with that, equal to that. But playing hard, I think is undervalued a lot in the NFL, especially for guys who are filling in for injured players. So I think it'll be a tough game for the Chiefs. They're not in mid-year form yet. So I think the Chargers have a fighting chance. But I do think the Chargers will remain undefeated in that one.
One of the biggest betting underdogs this week, with the Chiefs favored by 7 points, right? So the Chiefs are favored here to move to 4-0. The other favored undefeated team is the 3-0 Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers. They play in Indianapolis versus Anthony Richardson of the Colts. The Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite. Do you think they get to 4-0?
I do. I think their defense is working better than the Colts defense right now.
Yeah.
Both have quarterbacks who you've seen like explosive plays from, but not consistent play. So I think Chiefs went out with their defense again this week.
The Steelers?
Yeah, them too.
Anthony Richardson, I haven't watched any of those tapes. All I've been hearing is that he's been super
but before we leave with the Chiefs, rookie Troy Poltano will be out probably till the playoffs. He tore a ligament in his knee, so he'll be out, which is sad because he was becoming a very, very good offensive tackle in the league his rookie year. But he'll be out till at least the playoffs.
Mike Tomlin pretty much benched Broderick Jones,
who was their first round pick.
That's crazy,
2 years
right?
ago.
Yeah. I thought Broderick Jones would have at least kicked inside to guard or something, but I know they left left guard Isaac Seumalo also wasn't playing versus the Chargers, and we still lost. But Faltano is like a dislocated knee. It popped in practice or something. Oh, that's crazy. Also, Broderick Jones is starting at right tackle again for the Steelers.
Shout out to Faltano. Hope he gets back as soon as he can. But Steelers, for sure.
The 3-0 Vikings in a divisional game versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored by 3. Do the Vikings have a shot to go 4-0?
They do. I hope we get a chance to rotate back from like the first episode before this, like of the season, where I was telling people that I like Sam Darnold and that people should trust Sam Darnold.
Up the tapes. Somebody run that back.
I just want people to know that I was backing up. I was backing up Sam Darnold. I really like I said, I like what I said. I think when he was with the Jets, he got thrust into that role way too early. The pressure was so high. Yeah. And it's not like totally different from Zach Wilson. When he was put in there, that guy didn't have the greatest skills yet. He had the talent, but not the greatest skills. But Sam Darnold coming out of USC, like all USC quarterbacks, they have like really good basic skills coming out of there with their talent, of course. So I think he had that, but just didn't have the support. And everywhere he went, he had good opportunities, and he made really good use of them. Just people just were like so scarred from what he did with the Jets that I don't think he got a fair opportunity anywhere else. Plus, he's Sappy has some good quarterbacks every time he was traded or signed with somebody. But I think this is a great opportunity for him. There's no pressure, even with like what is the young quarterback that hurt himself there? The rookie?
JJ McCarthy.
Even with JJ McCarthy there, I think he kind of just knew that he was going to start. They weren't really trying to throw McCarthy in there like that. The other guy is, I think, Christian Ponder that they have there. I don't think they were
Christian Ponder.
Is that who they have there? I know they had him there a little bit
in 2010.
Oh, okay. See, that's exactly. I know they have a dude there that reminds me of Christian Ponder, so he's not going to play that. But with Sam Darnold, you see his connection with Jefferson. He gets Addison back this week.
Yep.
He gets Addison back this week. They have a legit running back like they did when they had Cook. You know, when Cook was playing great there. Now they have Aaron Jones. Great tight end as well. And their D-line is just mauling everybody. If you watch some of these games, their D-line's getting after it. So I do believe that they go 4-0. I think they're real, man. I think they're real.
Yeah, and they're going to be playing a Packers team that's either Jordan Love coming back from an injury or Malik Willis, who has done good so far. Yeah, that might be a tough one.
He had flashes for sure.
Sam Darnold last week, 4 touchdowns. We'll try to find that tape. Let me know what episode that's from. You gotta find that. Keeping Justin Jefferson involved is clutch for me as a Justin Jefferson fantasy owner. I got him with the 10th pick, and it's just working out enough. Okay. Yeah. So the Vikings also having a chance to go 4-0 versus their division rivals. Another underdog, undefeated. The Buffalo Bills are at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 2.5 points. What are the Ravens like 1-2?
That's
They
odd.
just won versus the Cowboys the first time, and they're favored now.
So, like, I do think they're a really good team. I don't know if they're as in sync as Buffalo is right now.
Hmm.
Uh, they got um, they got Josh. What's his last name?
Allen?
Oh my gosh. Uh, they got Josh Allen, not the defensive end from Jacksonville, but the quarterback from Buffalo. He looks like I seen the meme where they say he looks like he's playing with a couple of his best friends in Kincaid, Shakur, Keon Coleman, and who's the other receiver?
Kincaid, Shakur, Coleman. They got Curtis Samuel there. I
Samuel.
mean,
I'm sorry. So like he's really sharing the ball around, but Kincaid really showed out last week. His connection with Kincaid is big. Like they had a touchdown where Josh Allen had to stretch it out, uh, and Kincaid just ran the back line of the end zone
yeah.
and found him. You know what I mean? Everybody saw that play. So yeah, I think Buffalo on paper, I think should have been the favorites, the
Mhm.
favors. This guy's kicking my ass right now. But I do believe Baltimore comes in with the chip on their shoulder. Again, losing against the Raiders was big for them because like people thought they'd be one of the undefeated teams this year already.
Mhm.
They'd still be one of the undefeated teams. So they played a good game against defensively. They played a great game against Dallas. Um, I think the Ravens come out on top. I think Buffalo loses their first game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Buffalo could go down. I mean, yeah. The Ravens defense is Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. I'm not sure who's rushing the passer, but it
What's
doesn't feel like super
starts with
fearsome.
the M. M.
Matabike?
Isn't he on the line for them?
Huh?
Yeah, isn't he on the line
I think
for the
yeah.
Ravens?
I'm not sure. But yeah, that sounds right. Lamar Jackson, the offense, Derrick Henry. Maybe that's what it is.
And Zay Flowers, his
Maybe it's the
connection with
Ravens
Zay Flowers.
offense.
Yeah, his connection with Zay Flowers is starting to pick up. He finds that guy like you can tell he's always looking for him now. Like that's his primary target is Zay Flowers. So that's pretty cool to see. Because Zay Flowers has a lot of talent, got a lot of speed out there. He knows how to hide in his own. So if they can get Mark Andrews going this week, or even Isaiah like
Oh,
get one of
geez,
those
yeah.
guys going, uh, that'll be tough to stop.
Mark Andrews is scaring me. I have him in one league. Um, no catches, none. All right.
He's got a couple of pancake blocks.
Hey, he only ran 6 routes.
I,
He
I
only had
mean,
an opportunity to get a
towards
target 6 times.
the end of last season, because Mark Andrews was down, even when he came back, they kind of were favoring Isaiah Likely out there. He might be a little better in the
You think
pass
he's
game, maybe.
you think Mark Andrews is washed? He's not coming back. He
No,
says, my
I don't
time
think
will
so.
come. It's just,
I,
teams are taking it away from me, so they got to go other places. But
I
it'll
mean, if we're talking really just Mark Andrews, I think he leaves the team after the season, goes somewhere and becomes the same tight end he's been this whole time. So if you guys have him in fantasy, just hold on to him until next year.
holding on to Mark Andrews sounds disgusting. Okay, so you got the Chiefs
I
winning a
got the
tough
Chiefs.
one, possibly winning a tough one, moving to
I
four and
got the
over versus the
Steelers.
Chargers. The Steelers overcoming the Colts, even though they have their O line issues.
I had Minnesota since the first week of football
I've
season when we
been
started
had
talking.
Minnesota. I've been told you, Darnold. And then you got the Ravens possibly beating the 3-0 Bills.
Yep.
The undefeated Seahawks go to Detroit to face the Lions. The Lions are 3.5 point favorites. I'm saying there's no way the Seahawks win on the road in a
Nope.
time change as
Nope.
underdogs with not enough passing. But they got DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett always there. Noah Fant.
I mean, he got traded from Detroit, but that was, I think, circumstance for Detroit because they needed more things and they knew they could get more from Fant. Wait, did Fant? No, Fant not from Detroit. It was
Denver, Seattle.
Denver, yeah. So I know the potential there. He's an Iowa tight end, and besides Notre Dame, Iowa would be the next school with the best tight ends. Why are you laughing, man?
Yeah, they
Don't
are.
laugh, man. No, yeah, Iowa. I mean, you got what from there? Kittle, Fant, Minnesota's tight end.
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson is from there.
Nice.
There's a ton. So even guys that are like just not big name players, but have contributed to their teams. A lot of the tight ends are from Iowa. So I like Detroit, man. Detroit looks good, even though we're talking about Isaiah Fant and Seattle.
To Noah Fant.
Just I don't like.
Isaiah Fant.
Hey, man, just let it go. Just let it go. But I don't know. Seattle's just been inconsistent, and
okay.
Hopefully they get K9 back this week, Kenneth Walker. But
Charbonnet did good.
For me, it'd be cool because I have Charbonnet on my. He helped me beat someone in my ball recently.
Goodness. What would it take for you to trade Saquon Barkley?
Nothing.
No way.
I would not trade it. Not right now, at least.
3 starting players for Saquon Barkley?
Man. I would consider it.
Okay, let's talk.
I would consider it.
Right now on the pod.
I would consider it. Someone tried to, even though Debo isn't playing right now and he's on the bench, somebody sent me what they send for, but they sent like 3 players who on paper looks like they make as much as Debo would if he was playing. And they were trying to tell me, like, bro, 17. I was like, get the hell out of here. 2 of those players won't be playing because the only reason they're playing is they're playing for injured players and they're coming back this week. And the guy was like, no, you'll get a good play. Get the hell out of here.
What do you this food moved up? Oh, I'm unvictorious. I'm 0-3. Me and Matt. Sorry, Matt.
I'm 1-2. He said, I won't be here by myself.
Okay. Brian Robinson Jr., Stephon Diggs, Brian Thomas Jr. Oh man, you should call yourself the Brian Juniors. The Brian. You got 2 guys named Brian Jr.
Hey man, they're good.
They're great. Okay. But you have the Seahawks losing in Detroit. Damn, all these are road games. That's also crazy.
I do. I think offensively, Seattle looks great, especially Metcalf these past couple of games. He's been going off just blocking wise, getting open and just deboing some of these DBs, like ripping the ball out of their hands as they look like they have interceptions. And you guys saw that play. Yeah, he looks great. They have 2 great running backs again. Kenneth Walker, who's sitting out, Charbonnet, who's his backup. That's clutch. Again, Noah Fant or his cousin Isaiah. Either one of those guys on the field this week is going to be good. Jigba Smith, you know what I mean? His brother eliminated from the playoffs in baseball. So it's up to him now to make a playoffs in the pros because his brother was eliminated this past week with the Mariners. That's dope that you get to play in the same city as your Major League Baseball brother? That's pretty dope. That you're playing NFL and your brother's playing Major League Baseball in the same city.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Offensively, they look really good. And a lot of people are going to say, but what about that quarterback? I was like, Geno Smith he's proven that he can at least start and be decent. So, you got to trust him a little bit. I don't think they have another quarterback on the roster anyway, or a free agent quarterback that can do a better job than Geno is doing right now. So I trust Geno right now.
still Drew Lock.
Is he
Yeah.
still there? I thought he left.
Oh, he might have left. I don't know. Yeah,
No.
I've been
Either
down with
way,
Gino. Gino's
yeah,
gets slept on. He's a
yeah,
reclamation project. He's only doing so much. He doesn't have a super high
right. Well,
ceiling. They
he's
say,
been
but
running a lot this year too, or a lot more.
oh,
He's
okay.
been using his feet a lot
Then
more.
that's big for fantasy. I got him in
Yeah.
fantasy. I need to in a dynasty
So
league. I need to
Gino looks
trade him
good. I
up.
like Gino, but again, I don't think they'll get out of this week against a offensive juggernaut like Detroit. They got St. Brown, they got um, Gibbs, they got Williams now, who's playing really great.
Jameson Williams, David
Yeah,
Montgomery,
yeah,
Sam Laporta, Khalif Raymond.
Laporta. So and they got the best offensive tackle in the league playing on
Yeah,
that line right now. So
Malaimi.
yeah,
Penei
straight
Sewell.
from them.
All right, so those are the undefeated teams, all on the road again. That's crazy. That's gonna be tough. Only two of them favored going into those games, but the rest of them are gonna have to fight back to stay 4-0. Before we get to shout outs, I was thinking about like a new segment or show about like rewriting some of the sports
I'm
decisions
down.
that have happened, just
I'm
like
super down.
situations or sports stories or moments or events that the ball bounced a certain way. What if it went the other way? You know what I'm
Totally
saying?
different situation. Yep.
Some multiverse, different timeline type of stuff. What if Dez caught it? What if it was a catch? What if Michael Jordan was drafted second overall instead of third to the Bulls? What if the shot didn't go in? What if the punch didn't land?
Right.
Stuff
What if
for
Greg Oden's knees were good?
yeah, and how that would have reshaped some
Right.
histories and just some of these little things in the way the ball bounces. Were there any moments that stuck out to you that we could like try to do stories for or do
Man,
stuff like that?
there's a ton, man. Like you mentioned, one. What if Jordan got drafted two, or what if he got drafted one that year? You know.
Are you a Bulls fan if Michael Jordan isn't drafted number 3 overall?
You know what? I don't know because that's when I was younger. That's why I started watching the Bulls.
Yeah.
It's because someone showed me so my uncle brought over "Come Fly with Me," which was his highlight tape that they. If you guys don't know, they made videotapes back then, not DVDs or or a reel on one of your social media platforms. They
A
made
post.
videotapes, right? They made videotapes, and Michael Jordan had a series called "Come Fly with Me." So the first one I watched, it was crazy. And I was hooked after that. I was probably like 7 or 8, maybe. Just the way
Just
he played.
selling highlight tapes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Nice.
Uh, no, I don't think I would be. But also, I don't think, man, that's tough. The Bulls franchise, because I think they had previously won the championship before he got there, like a few years. They had guys like Orlando Woolridge, Charles Oakley on the team, so they weren't like too bad before he got there. But he just kind of just elevated that franchise to where they are now. Like in the '90s, they were the franchise that you wanted to be. They kind of took everything from the Lakers and the Celtics, and they became that team. New York was close. Indiana came close to that, but no one liked Chicago back in those days. That was crazy.
Saying, does the
Yeah,
NBA even look the same?
not at all.
Like,
Not at
right?
all.
Does the Bulls three-peat doesn't happen? The
Right.
6 championships. Phil Jackson
Oh
doesn't even
man,
make it to be able to coach the Lakers.
bro. One of my favorite scenarios would be what if Kobe went to UNC.
Kobe,
Yeah, that
if
was
he
his
went to
school.
UNC,
That's the
he
school he
was
said he
gonna
was going
go.
to.
He was gonna go to North Carolina if
That he
he
said
didn't
that
go
that would have
straight to
been
the
his
league.
choice. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. So but that means that young Kobe doesn't happen. Like slam dunk Kobe doesn't happen.
No, because we get a better Kobe. He'd be in college just thrashing guys. So Kobe would have went to
Mm.
UNC. Garnett would have picked UNC. Um, what's his name? Would have went to
Garnett would
UNC.
have been like, okay, I'm
Well,
going with you.
Garnett said he'd go to UNC. That's where he said he was going to
They both be
go.
at UNC.
Yeah, not at
Nice.
the same time. I think around the same time. It means. Who else? Another guy straight to high school said he picked Michigan. But it would have been fun to see some of these guys in college, playing in the colleges that they originally thought they were going to go to. So that'd have been fun.
Yeah, so many different like topics and things
Yeah.
like that, and stories that we can rethink and just like see just how far they ripple out and could have changed history. And maybe like do a little bit of journalism, kind of like investigating. Okay, what was the thought process behind not taking Michael Jordan as soon as possible? Like people were just like
Exactly.
looking at other stuff, and if someone would have just been like, "We should take this Jordan kid out of UNC. Looks like a game
Early.
changer. Looks like he
Right.
might be something." Yeah, because who drafted second that year?
Was it the
I'll look it up
Knicks?
right now. The
I know Sam
Knicks,
Bowie. Is it the Knicks? I know the Knicks.
the Blazers,
Oh, they took Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie.
Who, to his credit, was the best center in college that year. Like he was exceptional. Had great skill. So, and that's when centers were centers. You know, they played in the paint. They stayed closer to the rim, back to the basket. But yeah,
What if
Sam
what
Bowie
if
didn't quite have the career that they thought he was going to have.
yeah, sorry, Sam. What if we switched the number 1 and 3 pick there? What if we gave the Bulls Olajuwon and gave the Rockets Michael Jordan and like just see how that ripples out? Stuff like that.
That'd be great. Yeah, exactly. Like, what if uh Bo Jackson wasn't too fast for his body and never
And
dislocated his hip?
played like 6 more
Um,
years for the Raiders.
right,
How many years did he play?
like
8?
three, maybe.
Three.
I don't know if he played that much. He only played so many years. Probably not three, probably a little bit more, but he didn't play
Okay.
as long as because he sat out also his rookie year because Tampa had drafted him and he sat out until Tampa sold his rights to the Raiders.
Smart
So
move.
yeah,
West Coast.
there's cool.
All right. Yeah. So looking forward to like figuring out some way to do that segment
Hell yeah.
or shows.
Well, we're gonna figure out. We're gonna do it.
Yeah. If you listening to this have any like moments in sports that you can think of that would
For
apply,
sure.
definitely message us, send us in. Send an email, ballinesian@gmail.com. Send a DM at Ballinesian on Instagram. Forrest, what are your socials? Village Kids Media.
Village Media, and then _EST global at on IG, and then just my name on Facebook.
Just like just my name. Yo, yeah, definitely hit us up, share us.
Please, yeah.
Any ideas on what we should name it? I can't stop thinking about what if. And I'm like, that's probably copyrighted, trademarked.
I mean, sorry, Marvel.
Polynesian, what if?
Or could have been.
Hey, could have been. We got around it. Hey, it could have been. Yeah, we'll find the stories, we'll get them together, we'll do some research, and then maybe we can get some people that are like fans of
At
that
least fans of the
team or
teams
something
or
that know like a
players.
different layer.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. That'll be exciting. Yeah, thank you for listening. Shout outs. Any shout outs for you this week?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my nephews, Leonardo Spokushi and Isaac Walker. They play for the 12 and under Benson Bears, who are in their league the number 1 team on the West Coast. 12 and under. They'll be playing another great team in Royal Chief on Saturday night in Kent. So if you guys like to watch football, come down to Kent. I'll get the stadium, put it on our website or our page so you guys can see. But yeah, it's gonna be great football, 12 and under. Not regular 12 and under kids. These kids are super talented.
Nice.
And I'm not bragging about my nephew, but if you want to know like the talent level and size of these kids, my nephew is 12 years old. He's 5'11" and about 240 pounds. And he plays D-line, he plays fullback, he plays offensive tackle, plays all over the field. So, and there's a couple guys who might be bigger than him on the team. But yeah, it's going to be great football. Skill wise, it's going to be high level skill wise for 12 and under you. So yeah, go and watch. Go Benson Bears. Yeah.
Go Bears. The Bears. we're watching this documentary that Coconut TV just put out. I think with the help of New Zealand On Air and narrated by Brianna Fruin.
Oh, nice.
Suluafi Brianna Fruin. The Forgotten Pacific. And it's about how climate change is disproportionately affecting, the Pacific Islands, a lot of Marshall Islands, freaking Tuvalu, the sinking island.
Oh, they're underwater.
These are island nations that are not contributing to like greenhouse gases buildup, even a little bit, barely at all, even. But they're suffering the biggest impacts in that their islands are eroding away, their shorelines are disappearing, the land masses slowly, getting more and more seawater on it with the rising seawaters and sea levels.
Yeah.
It's basically about climate change. It really hit home, being like South or Pacific islands that this was happening to, and just seeing and thinking about how it's going to affect, the rest of us over time. Sure. Definitely, if you can watch it, give it a look. We're going to be also talking about it on the Pacifica Movie Starter Kit with Oh Hello Marcus this week. So definitely check out our review there. But definitely a good watch, and shout out to them for putting that on. Also,
Brianna and her sister, Sherelle, they're really big in trying to help the South Pacific, especially with climate change. They've been doing that for so many years. So it's good to see that they have a documentary out. I know Brianna just also ran for Miss Samoa.
Yeah. She had that. Her speech was replayed a lot, reposted a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, good for them. They're really great people. If you ever get a chance to meet them or sit down with them and talk, super intelligent. They're dope. Good for them.
And also shout out to the city of Oakland and the Oakland Athletics playing their last game. They're at Oakland Coliseum, where the Raiders used to play, across the street from where the Warriors used to play. Now, Oakland no longer has a professional sports team, as far as like the Big Four.
They're also moving to Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, if you're somebody running a business and your numbers can go from Oakland numbers to Vegas numbers, but there was a good point put out by one of the A's fans who was doing a really touching tribute on, like, my dad brought me here when he didn't know what the heck to do with me during the day. I brought my little brother here. I bring my kids here. He brings his family here now. Now they're going to Vegas, and it's going to be 70%. You're going to sell a lot more seats, but it's going to be 75% visitors. You're going to be playing in, just like a kind of like a travel site stadium.
They still have to build their fan base, but yeah, I totally understand that. It's crazy. That stadium they built is amazing.
Yeah, so it's going to be different. Hopefully, some of the A's fans can get to Vegas and fill that up. But shout out to Oakland for being some of the most down fans, man. Like, and having some of the best sports crowds
for sure
in history.
A lot of championships there too for the A's. I mean, they had a lot of good years.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
Ricky Henderson, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire. Yeah.
Yeah, the history and
Dennis Eckersley. Sheesh.
Not there anymore. That sucks. Yeah, keep it going, freaking Oakland sports teams. But yeah, that's you got to go to the games and have a lot more money and spend a lot more money. And it's not something that everyone can do right now. I need to get like more sports going on. Anyways, that's our show for this week. Week 4 coming up. Hope everyone has a great football day, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming on, bro. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace.
Go Notre Dame.
Fight on.